Good afternoon, students. This is Professor Estrada with your Week 2 lecture video for your class. This class is Integrated Reading and Writing, first 8 weeks. I'm in the home page for the class when it comes to Brightspace, and let's dive right in. Just like I did with Week 1 video lecture, this is just a lecture. It's not something that you have to require to watch, but it is helpful whenever you have communication with me. You get to know where everything's at, navigation, or just not feeling overwhelmed, and this is the first step. It's as if we would be in the classroom and you would be listening to a regular lecture. So let's dive right in. So this is my homepage for the class. This is the announcements on the left side tab. More than welcome to always review these, look at these. Overall, it's just a really good representation of recap announcements, due dates, what we've done during a certain week, what you need to do or submit during that week before its due date, or just reminding you, hey, if you haven't turned this in, this is a good time to do so. I tend to, sorry, my wire for my phone just kind of went all lopsy. I tend to make sure that we're up to date. So if our class starts off a Monday morning and closes a Sunday night, I try to have these videos open for you so that way you can have them. I even will try to open up the actual week folder early so that way you have a couple days in advance. So let's just say we're already in week 1, which is what we are. We're actually January 22nd. I try to record these early. I will try to open up the week 2 folder, maybe the 23rd or 24th, even a couple days before the week 2 day starts. So we technically start on a Monday morning at 8 o'clock for an online class, and our due dates will be Sunday nights at 11:59. And as always, this has always been said in the announcements. My other side has my info. This is your class. It is in first 8 weeks class. No textbook required, 100% online. This is my email. Please make sure that you are emailing me through your Hill College account at this email. Sometimes Yahoo, Outlook, whichever email besides those, Gmail, sometimes I don't read those. They go straight to my spam. So just make sure that you are responding through your Hill College account. I try to be actively responsive to that. But if I don't, please understand that I also teach other classes as well. One thing that I will say is while there is this work to do on the right side tab, notice that there's this square with work to do and calendar. Please don't just go straight into those. While they're there and they kind of tell you a little bit of everything without a preface to the content of the week for week 2 part 1 or week 2 part 2, you're just diving into something maybe without content or background information. So it's always helpful to look at these just as a good structure. And while some of these have really good things to do, I will always ask you to start with the content. Because these also have the settings for people to turn in stuff late during this class, as it's been said in the syllabus and in my weekly folders, you can always turn in stuff late even beyond your Sunday due date. But the settings right here didn't fix that. So always respond to whatever the syllabus or the course section is. So as an example, this is week 1, part 1. If you're seeing this kind of late, that's fine. But let's just say that week 1 folder has a due date for Sunday, January 25th. However, you can always use a late pass extension, up to 2 granted to you each semester for whatever assignment that you need. But if you forget, that's fine. And you are just realizing, oh my gosh, I forgot to do or turn in one of these discussion boards. It's now Tuesday, January 27th. Go ahead and turn it in. Late is always late. Late is better than nothing. I will still take late work even beyond their due date. It just says right here that the actual date is set for many of these submissions for this day, but the calendar, which is what you would see on the homepage, sometimes it's calendar right here. Sometimes these calendars have the last 4 days that you can turn in something. So you can always turn in something up to 4 days late. The calendar right here will always mess that up for me because it automatically adds my 4 days that I'm allowing you to turn in something. So always refer to the bold, the actual due date. And then just as a review, Whenever you open up the folder, you do have to click on the modules and they drop down and they tell you what's in the folder. So let's go right into the week 2 folder. Mind you, these little setting buttons with the little weird eyes, you'll be able to see them afterwards. It's just saying that I'm doing this early on, so it's not accessible to you until I open up the week 2 folder. So let's dive right in. And this is the week 2 folder, part 1 for our class. We have our lecture slides. Go back in, view the lecture slides, maybe view the lecture slides as we're watching this audio. The weekly journal prompt number 2. We have a document that has article readings, so you get to choose a couple of those. And I'll open this up early and it says with to be used with discussion board 2. So these two things go hand in hand. It is a downloadable document that I would like you to use with the discussion board number 2. There's also a word count link that will help you count words if your discussion board requires a specific word count. And then there's quiz number 2. And notice that due date. Due date for the completion of these items says Sunday, February 1st. While it may say a couple of days later, according to the calendar that can allow you up to 4 extra days, always refer to what the Sunday due date is for our class. So our class typically starts on a Monday morning at 8 o'clock for an online class, and it stretches out the entire weekly content for that next Sunday at 11:59. Okay. And so as it was given in week 1, part 2, the instructions for our first essay is not due anytime soon. It does tell you, however, the due date for its upcoming submission. So you won't even find the submission for essay 1 until week 4, part 1. Plenty of time, but just kind of a heads up for many of you. I will not accept email attachments, photos, or web links in replacement of this essay. So it is an essay that you need to type up electronically and make sure that you are up to date on that. But let's dive into the week 2, day 1 lecture slides. Okay. So I'm going to zoom out as if we were having class so that way you have it. So let me zoom out. This is for week 2, day 1. We have the online content. We're going to review parts of speech, indirect objects, and direct objects, and some important reminders. So exactly how you saw this in the folder is what you see. You have the journal prompt number 2, a PDF with about maybe 14 or 15 different articles, and you're going to only pick a couple of them to summarize. So it just says discussion board number 2, an effective reader understands summaries. So we understand that 1, we have to understand if we're a reader or writer. 2, we have to put that into practicality. So whenever we practice that, we have to understand I'm reading, I'm understanding, I'm comprehending, now I'm writing. So we're also going to include the quiz 2, and notice that due date. So as we backtrack into parts of speech, parts of a sentence, understanding what makes an essay, we're going to look at a little bit of sentence structure with parts of speech review. We're first going to look at the subject of a sentence. In a sentence, the subject is the person, animal, or thing, the noun, that does the verb. Alyssa is eating a banana. Who is eating? Alyssa. The cat is drinking milk. Who is drinking? The cat. The phone is ringing. What is ringing? The phone. Notice the subject comes before the verb. So the subject is right here, and the verb is what they're doing. Remember, the subject represents whom or what the sentence is about. Objects, on the other hand, are the thing, person, or the event being acted upon. He paints posters. He is a subject who or what performs an action. He is doing something. What does he do? He paints. Verb is what he does. Verb is the express of the action, and then the noun or the object. Whoever or whatever receives the action. He paints posters. These are just really good references. It's a really good review because we're looking at parts of a sentence, what makes a sentence, parts of grammar. We also can look at direct objects. Okay, so we have subjects, objects, and direct objects. A direct object is a noun, pronoun, or word group that tells who or what receives the action. So again, a noun is the recipient of the action. She wrote a letter. She is a subject. She's doing something. What does she do? She wrote a letter. A noun. Direct objects receive the action of the verb. Juan kicked the ball. Example. John bought his son a present. The direct object is right here. It's receiving something. Indirect object is what is being acted upon. And indirect objects. Okay. Tells whom or what or for what, used only for the direct object, appears between the verb and the direct object. Example, Jackie wrote Kelly a note during class. Subject is Jackie. What did she do? She wrote something. A note. Wrote what? Indirect object for Kelly. And then let's do that again. John bought his son a present. John is the subject. He did something. Indirect object being acted upon. Subject, the boy gave food to Jane. Subject is the boy. He did something. He gave. He gave what? Food, a direct object. Who received the food? Jane. And this is just good review. Subject, object, direct object, indirect object. It's just good grammar. But as we digress and we transition into understand that we have to understand the parts of a word, what makes up words, what makes up sentences, so that way we can understand what makes a good essay. And one of the best and most effective ways to become a better writer is to become a better reader. To become great at writing, we must understand basics first. For you to learn how to write, you must review how to make a good sentence, and in doing so, how to write good sentences. Okay? And as a reminder, twice this semester, I give you the ability to turn in late work. Besides turning in stuff late, you can always turn in late work up to 2 things without me counting it late. Those are called your extensions or late passes. They're given to anything besides the last couple of things in the course, which is in week 7. But for you to turn in that thing or receive a request for that thing, such as a discussion board, send it to me via email by 10 o'clock. Hi, Ms. Estrada. I need a late pass extension for discussion board number 3. It's probably Sunday at maybe 10 o'clock. You know you're not going to finish it and you need just a couple of extra hours. That's what the late pass is for. Okay. So let's go in and let's dive into the weekly journal prompt number 2. Again, it is a closed journal. You're simply just writing in whatever the prompt allows you to. If it's asking for a specific number of sentences, do so by that. You don't have to reply to anybody else. It's just go in, write a little bit, and then get out of it. Okay. So prompt number 2 is asking us something different. Discuss the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome. Feel free to explore emotional, personal, spiritual, academic, or overall. You don't have to be specific or detailed, just letting me know something that you overcame and you're proud of. Why was it challenging? What did it ask you to do in order to change? What did it have you do as a person? Did it help you grow? And the course calendar due date is Sunday, February 1st. Now, it may state a different day just because it's allotted the 4 extra days, but the reality of the due date is Sunday, February 1st. You can start the thread. You can start off with journal number 2, whatever you would like. I'm just writing out in real time so you're able to see this. And then you can post. As you see, you don't have to post to anybody else but your own. Okay. And then we have our next thing that's in the folder. We have Skim, Glance, Read, Minimized Article Readings. This PDF goes in hand with the discussion board number 2. So for this, you have a list of, I accidentally clicked on it. You have a list of articles, okay? It tells you the article name. It tells you the website. It automatically should click on it whenever you go to it. If they don't, please let me know so I can fix those web links. But there's more than plenty. Looking at the titles, looking at how they are different, there's about 14 of them. And something that I will say is the last one I added through a really good colleague of mine. So as we're looking at some of these titles, Women Are Better Than Men at Free Throw Lines, Wearable Tech for Olympians, The State of Black Genius by Donald Glover, The Emoji of Solidarity, The Last Social Network, 14 different options for you to choose and read a couple of summaries for these articles in conjunction with discussion board number 2. One thing I will say is I do know the person who wrote article number 14. He went to grad school with me and he became an established writer. And so this is his own personal passage. And so I think it would be really cool for someone to be able to look at that and say, wow, Mr. Strada knows this person. He is a widow, and so his wife had died, and so he's writing in response to that. And it's just really good to see someone that came from a circle that I know. So we both attended Osberg University in Minneapolis, Minnesota together about 6 years ago. So it's really cool to see that and use a part of another writer's work. And so you're going to just click on some of these. Feel free to read however many. Discussion board number 2, whenever I go to its instructions, will tell you how many you have to do. It just says you will choose just 3 and summarize them. Summarize article whatever, number 1, article number 5, article number 14. It just says you are to give a summary for each of the readings. So example, 1 article summary will have about 100 words. Therefore, all of them together should be about 300, 400 words. You are more than welcome to go over your summary requirement per each article. But if you can stick to just that required amount. Write it as your own post. You can just copy and paste this format. In your own words, explain what your summary is for your optional reading number 1, your optional reading number 2, and optional reading number 3. So this in turn will be one whole post. You can number them, you can list them, you can number list them, ABC 1, 2, 3, or just paragraphs, however you would like to, but let that be its own post so that you're not overwhelmed and you're not trying to remember, oh, did I do 1, 2, or 3 summaries? And then go back in and reply to people. So your discussion board count should be about 300 words, 350 words, however you would like. And then respond to 2 to 3 other people. Respond within their word count per each student. Sorry, I just clicked on it. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. It's fine. Respond to each person. And if you've forgotten how to reply to people, I've always included the polite way of complimenting them. And notice the due date, Sunday, February 1st. Okay. All right. So we continue with that. I also have the word count link. The word count link is just helpful. Some people actually use it right then and there to know how many words that they need for their discussion post. I just have it here so that way if you ever need to go back to it, kind of unsure if word count, Google Doc, whichever one didn't save your words, just go back and paste and make sure that your word count is in there. And then as you reflect on subjects, indirect objects, meaning of sentence structure and what makes a good sentence, there is a quiz for you to do. Mind you, you should not, this is just the instructor side, it just says hidden from students. You'll be able to see this once it opens. Okay. So now we're going to go into the week 2 folder, part 2. Notice that there is a lesser load for this content. There might be folders where you will have more. There might be folders where you might have 1 or 2 things. So this folder, week 2, part 2, only has lecture slides, a weekly journal prompt number 3, and quiz 3. Okay, so let me go ahead and fix this for you so that way you see it. And the due date continuing into a week 2, part 2 folder is Sunday, February 1st. And notice that the due date for essay number 1 is coming up shortly. It will be found in the week 4, part 1 module. Okay, so these are our lecture slides for week 2, part 2, as if we were in class. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom out so that way you see them. It just says the online folder and important reminders. So there's not much to it because 1, you're continuously working in the essay number 1 on your own time because there's still time to do so, but also working on content from week 1, part 1. So this is a lesser load for you. There's the lecture slides, the journal prompt number 3, and quiz 3. Short, sweet, and to the point. And I like this little picture right here. Very cozy. Okay, so we have quiz 3. Let's open that up a little bit, kind of give you a little bit of instructions. Follow along and read each question. It may be asking you to remember what topic sentences are, maybe write what a topic sentence is, or details. It's just an arrangement of understanding what we've read or what we've understood so far in the class. And it gives you about 30 minutes. You're given 2 attempts, and I just grade the highest attempt. The computer will automatically grade multiple choice, true, false with its settings. I just have to go back in and grade the actual responses. So please don't fear not if you get a 10, but by the time I grade, it'll probably be at 80. And notice the due date, Sunday, February 1st. As always, even if you forget to do this by February 1st, it does give you the extra days to do so. And you'll be able to see this. Don't worry about that. Okay. And then we have our weekly journal prompt number 3. Okay. This one says in a prompt number 3 to write a couple of sentences just in and out. You don't have to worry about replying to people. It's just you creatively writing and thinking. This one says, where do you see myself or yourself in 5 years? To add, what steps do you plan to take for the future of your education or career? So where do you see yourself in 5 years? What do you hope to see for yourself, your family, your future? Are there specific goals that you're working on right now that you hope that become accomplished or come into fruition later? Are you looking for an accomplishment, an accolade, or just a better well-being overall? And just think about that. What do you see yourself doing or accomplishing in 5 years? And the due date. February 1st. And then to just open up the folder, you can write journal 3 or journal 4, whatever the title is. You can do any font color, any font size, as long as I can see it, and then just test. And I'm just doing that just to test it. And then I post. Okay. And because this is such a short journal, folder, such a short folder, it just has those. Okay. If you have any questions up until now, reach out to me. I try to make sure that everything's available for you so that way you have it and it's not overwhelming. But take your time. The audio and video lecture is there for you. But at any point, if you have any questions, reach out to me. I would love to hear back from anybody. If you need a video conference, if you just need to make sure that you're on the right track. As we're going into week 2, things start piling up. My suggestion is take some time, maybe an hour or 2 every other day, making sure that you have a to-do list and checking off what I have for this class or for any other class. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. This is my email. I'm here to help you.